to my TikTok followers, my Facebook followers, my YouTube followers. We're here once more in the next live, speaking in the shop street talk with Gevon and my audience. I have two wonderful young men here. Some real, great young man in this community of Linden, and I bring them to give us a nice conversation today. And we'll be speaking of motivating the teenagers to be career driven, to be more leaders of the self, to be more locked in with the vision that they wanted to go, and like nobody don't pull them back in the sense of bringing down the goal. So I will lead it on to my two good friend here to introduce yourself.
Okay guys, so my name is Ronald Doma. I'm 30 years of age. I grew up in the community of Linden, and currently I'm an entrepreneur.
Good afternoon. I'm Carl Williams. I'm presently a serving member of the Guyana Police Force, and I'm stationed right at Mackenzie. I must say this afternoon, it is a blessing for me to be here, right? At least to share some tips, at least about myself. And it's a very good platform at this time, so coming from the host, Gevon, right, in educating young people of today. I would say career driven wise, right, because there is so much to share at this time, right, especially as a young man growing up from a child, from a child to now. There's so many experience, right, and it is so I would say it's a different time from the older time. From the older time to now, because
Yes, it is.
I would find growing up as a young man, right, the discipline around that time
Was very serious.
I would say it was very strict at that time. But looking at things now, things have been changed. I would say because it is a modernized time, and during these times, so at least it's good that we here to share our experience and let young people know out there that the road presently right now is not a nice road, right? In terms of based on what you see with young people of today, right? Because enough time you will find that simply as school areas, I would say other areas then. Children of today, you would find out involved in so many
Negative activities.
Negative activities. You understand? So
They need a guidance.
Right? I think they should occupy themselves. I would say morally. I would say like doing a lot of reading, socializing. When I say socializing, because from small when I coming up, I know about playing marbles, playing cricket.
Yeah. Socializing,
volleyball,
socializing in
these things,
general.
right? You wouldn't find I would say person, is until you get a game coming up, then you would see children and these things taking part in things. Otherwise, I would say most of the free time you would find children would be wrong. It's like you got nothing to do and these things. So we are here
To just
at least,
put the message out there to the youths that not finding themselves into the right place, right? Moving on to my friend here. One of the things that I actually felt in my spirit to put this topic out there for this week is because there's so much blame that the older folks put on kids when it comes to them doing the wrong thing, and then looking in to see where they're erring and try to redirect them, right? So we gotta start take a leap back and understand that these kids just don't guide themselves. They need guidance as well. So for the kids that are looking, the teenagers are looking at excelling into adult stage, looking to pursue a career, we want to let y'all know that we're not forgetting. Yeah, we're here and we're here to sell a message. We hope that somebody, anybody, somebody in the public to share this for his life, and at least some youth gets to resonate on the way forward, right? I see a lot of young people now coming up, and they're going through, depression. They're going through, they're going through some sort of emotional problems because they think that it's hard.
Yeah.
And we walk this walk before, and we know how it were in our time to actually put ourselves in position to be here today. Because a lot of people know Gevon, and they when they look at Gevon, he always with a smile on his face, always happy. Like my good friend used to tell me, Gevon, you get problems? And I said, but I always get problems. But one thing I learned is to conquer myself and my mind, to challenge my inability to just don't give up, because you get some youth just die away because of they think that the purpose in coming true, or they're seeking some purpose, and the purpose in resonating how they want, so they decide to try nothing else. They stuck to that same thing, so they give up. So we're gonna start out by asking my wonderful friend here, abstinence. We think about abstinence with these young people who going out there and having intercourse, and it's like they just know that they want to get this fun, and they understand how much damage it actually creates around your teenager life, and shattering your dreams, because there's so much things out there that they could actually. What do you think about that?
So first of all, I want to thank Gevon and Watson Technologies for this initiative, for this platform, for putting this information out there. Very good initiative. Admire Gevon a lot. Very disciplined young man, very hard-working young man.
Yes.
Is a role model for many young men out there. It doesn't matter where you start, but you gotta be a fighter. You gotta be a hard worker. Nothing good come easy. But answer the question, Gevon, about abstinence with the young people. Well, this is something that is very challenging for the young people indeed, because in your young adult years, this is when your hormones is at its highest peak, right? This is when your hormones at its highest peak, and you want to have sex. Your body is telling you to have sex. Unprotected sex as well, because maybe you don't see the consequences. Another thing I noticed, that parents is afraid to talk to the kids about sex. So it's like a taboo topic, right? Because you gotta understand, and that's why sex is so sacred, is that when you having sex, you gotta understand that if any responsibilities, and now you're barely a child, just come out to school. Are you ready for the responsibility of a child?
This is a big deal, bro.
Right? So it's a lot of responsibility. It look good. It look good having a kid. Babies are nice. They look cute, but it costs money. It costs time. Remember, you're building yourself. You're not even know who you are.
At
the moment, figure out yourself. To bring in another being with dependent on you now, it's kind of like sabotaging your dreams. Right? It's kind of derailing you in a way. Not to say kids are bad. It's just that you need to set a foundation until you're ready for kids. It's not like totally you don't have kids, but just coming out to school, young adults,
You would find, like, I would say, well, you would find, well, let me say you're just coming out to school, right? It have some parents, I would say, they would allow these situations to happen. Right? Likewise, we have some
promoting this kid to the wrong place.
Yes, correct, right? And when you involve yourself into these, I would say, early pregnancy and all of these things, not only pregnancy, right? Because there is so many I would say like virus and these things around, around this place is on these things. We gotta be very skeptical about. Right, these things here, so it tends to hamper with you, especially if you gotta get a job and all of these things, right? Because you just imagine you just, I would say, just started your life, and these things, so now you gotta find yourself in hospital. You gotta find yourself spending money on otherwise, I would say. You understand? And sometimes we have parents would, I would say, would stick with us, supported us. And some when we fall into these situations, so it's like you gotta try right there with whatsoever you want.
Abandon the kids.
Yeah, and right. So we gotta know. We gotta be very skeptical. At least utilize just I would say your spare time, educating yourself, doing different things. Right, things that make, I would say, positive things. Not only because if you watch what's going on, I would say like schools and these things, right? Sometimes you might come out of a good home, right? But when you go to school, you reach up with friends and all of these things. Influence.
The wrong influence.
Yeah. Right, and I could remember growing up from small, coming up, right? I wanted my education so bad, right? It's like I would say during them time though, sometime you would find yourself is that them time that was a serious time, it's not like what the children them getting off today. They're getting it so easy. Them time though, sometime I would gotta find myself, gotta go inside the bush at a young age, and you go and you make a money, you come out, you buy a school boots or something, and children getting these things so easy off today. And they're not utilizing I would say what parents giving them the best and these things so it was not easy in my time, I would say, coming up in thing. And at my age, these children age them presently right now, we never had time for study about girlfriends and all of these things, so because when you watch we got and we utilize ourselves. We do some fishing. We play cricket. We play football and all these things. So you at a certain time you gotta reach home, and when you reach home there, you would go and let me say you take breakfast, and a breakfast dinner, and when you don't know, you gotta go and sit down in front of a book. And them time we had it under. We gotta read it under a lamp, flambeau and all of these things. So right, so we want to encourage these children of today, right, that do the best, and eradicate these kind of thing, right? Because if you watch, they have so many, I would say, children committing crimes, so many things going on, and parents also have to, parents of today, they have to play a key role into these things. So look, we have the Guyana Police Force, right? They doing outreaches in school and all of these things, so right. And also people, they were frightened to go to the station and all these things. So sometimes even if you want to share something, among, I would say, your parents and these things, so we have the Guyana Police Force there, right? You could go and you could sit down and you could talk to somebody. Look at the welfare department. And you could go to these people is a sit down and you think, right?
Use up these
I just understand, sometimes you don't want to share certain stories, or we so afraid of, we are afraid of organization. Sometimes, we don't want to say anything, but you could come forward and these things, so. You understand? Watch. I like me friend Gevon, right? I would say he's a great, I would say, leader. You understand? Because I could recall when Gevon just started his barbering, right? He was doing his barbering before, right? But coming to Linden, right? I know the area that we party. You went at, we started from, right? You just started with a chair and just a mirror. Some people, I would say, they wouldn't even, they gotta wait until you get something before you start it. So,
that part.
Good. All of these things, so.
That's a milestone.
And from there, you see, he's now in his own barbershop.
Yeah,
You
Just
understand?
making his
Yeah.
own.
AC units, TV to watch.
Right, you
You
could
know?
even come in at tea. Right, if you
Yeah.
want to be a barber, you could come in here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right,
Very open
right
mind.
away you start off. You own, I would say, you're in your own business. You could come here, seek some advice, or you could watch, sit down and watch what's going on, and from then you take a pattern from there. Right from and there's so many other things that you could, I would say, elevate yourself
Yeah.
in these times. So
If I to add to what you're saying there, because this is the thing with young people. Young people see the finished product. Everybody see Gevon now, but the journey to
Yeah.
where it's a
Yeah, the
process.
milestone
It's a process. It's a steps that you got to take to reach there. So young people is this what they see on social media finished product,
Yeah,
right? They see when you done reach.
the glory.
Exactly,
At the
but
end of the
it's a
road.
lot of trials and tribulations along this path. A lot of times you feel like giving up. So for the young man out there will feel like, why gonna do with me life? Like I feel like giving up. Don't give up, bro. The hardest God is give the hardest fight to its strongest soldiers. Don't give up this fight. Keep pushing. You mightn't see the results right away. Sometimes you work hard and expect results right away. It don't happen so in life. Sometimes you work in years and then you see the results later down. So don't expect that you pushing a work here and expect to see the same day. It don't happen like that. Life is a process. It takes time. So for the young people out there, things takes time. Slow down,
Yeah,
right?
You gotta build your mental factor. You gotta build your mental
Yeah.
factor.
Mentally, you gotta be strong. Especially for the young man, and I know a lot lies on we shoulder. We expected to, earn a certain income, provide for a family. A lot of pressures on we shoulders, and we don't really share. We don't like to express our emotions. We battle up with feelings. We don't talk about we feelings. We going through a struggle. We ain't tell nobody. And then you see a brother now hang himself. You want this man was laughing and laughing. This man hang himself. But a brother going through. You understand? A lot of youths going through a lot of pressure. And this is the purpose of this platform for motivate the youths, encourage the youths. Take your time, bro. It's one step at a time. Don't give up this fight.
yeah.
So for me to talk back on abstinence before we move forward with any other question, right? Now they have some young people at this time challenging themselves already, having a child. And my advice to you is that's not the end of the world. Right? Every harsh challenge come to, as he stated before, a strong soldier. You understand? Now, obstacles is there to challenge you. That's not the end of the world. You gotta understand that despite of where you stand, you gotta know that there's a better ahead. Right? And if you look around, they get a lot of young people right now that I know go back into nursing, go back into teaching. Sometimes
Even going back to school.
yeah, sometimes a lot of people had a vision to becomes a pilot, a big business person, but certain things shatter the career because of they go and get into course and a child come and so forth. But it's just switch careers and then they get to love the career that they choose. Because they get to learn now that something new of life when it comes to human resource and all these things.
Yeah, because simple like me.
You understand?
Yeah, simple like me. I would say that I was never wanted to be a police, right? Because I had another career that I was focusing on, right? Because of my grandmother and them, it's like you need to go and be going to the medical fields, do something in the right, and I end up being a police, and I never regret making that step, right? Because we've got to make use of, I would say wheresoever we've been sent in a positive way, what these things is.
So what I want to ask you, what actually drive you to this particular career that you standing in right now? What was the effort within you that you say, I'm gonna try police? What really challenged you in that way?
Well, good. I could remember working in the bush back then, call it. Right, and I working among, at the time I was like 18, 19 years old, working, and you're among older people and yourself,
Grown
right?
folks, yeah.
And I would never regret with the advice that they would have given me, is because they see me working as a young man, and then they say, you know what, bush is not for you.
This is not for you.
Right?
Because the older folks just see a child with his potential,
Correct.
and they should tell you, me want to see you back here. This is
Correct.
a new part.
Yeah.
You understand? You gotta find something more elevated.
They're among older people, far away old people who could have been me father, big brother and these things, and say, it's like, Carlon, watch, you gotta make a difference. Ace is not for you. And don't know what have motivate me now when I say, what, I gonna write police test. And I end up going there, and I'm now a policeman of the
You're a sergeant in the police force. You're changing ranks.
Correct. Yeah.
And that wasn't something that you were
correct
before. We started from.
So my friend over here, right? I know that I've known you a very long time, in this community doing business. You wasn't a businessman, right? But you end up, switch career. Right? What was it like for you to transition from environmental officer to an entrepreneur? What it was like for you to change career?
All right, that's a good question. So, growing up in school, I used to do fairly well in class. And when you do fairly well, it's like two careers that's limited down to. Let's say either a doctor or a lawyer.
Yeah.
So basically, listening from me, this guy gonna become a doctor or a lawyer. So he's listening from family members around.
All your school work.
Yeah, nobody asked me what I want to become. Nobody never asked me what I want to become, but they just put these careers on me. It's either a doctor or a lawyer. It's like, wow, a doctor or a lawyer. So I like forced to choose. I remember in Farm 3, choosing now which stream I must go in. Which I don't know. I was so lost. I didn't find myself yet. So, they said doctor. So I got in science stream. But something in me wasn't fully but wherever I tried to do my best. So I tried to do my best. I did reasonable at CXC. Then I went to the university in the hopes of studying medicine. So the first year biology, I didn't do so well. And I said to myself, like, this job is this science field is not for me. This is when I realized to find myself. Like, I don't even like see blood.
Not to culture, right? But there's some young youths don't understand right now. So you're trying to let them understand it, let it resonate, right? Now they have at times you trying to work with a career that somebody or your parents try to put
on you. Yeah.
And
it's so much pressure.
As they put in the pressure upon you, you of yourself get a mind that's stimulating to tell you that this is not me part. This career ain't really fitting my
something deep down inside of me. Yeah.
So it is hard for you to come out because you don't go into a career to try to be a failure, because if you don't like something, it becomes a failure because you're gonna do it and not to your best. So you could tell your parents, like, mommy, I think that I wanted to try something else,
Well, I mean, it's easier for you to say it like that. But at the point, I feel so much pressure. I feel like the time, like, I don't want to disappoint my parents. I don't know how I'm going to tell them that I don't want to go down the path. How are they going to receive the information? Like, your son don't want to be this doctor that, you hold him so high to be achieved. So I didn't know how. I was scared. I was fearful. I know a lot of young people going through the same thing.
There's the reasons why we try to get out.
So
I understand that. You could talk to your parents and let them know.
Yeah, so I basically I did a summer program at both. I talked to a colleague that was doing environmental. She said it's a nice course. So basically at this time I didn't find myself. But I know my parents expected me to get a degree in something. God had done sending me to UG. So, I like environment. I like it more than the science stream. I know there jobs readily available. 'Cause I was thinking, where am I going to work? How I'm going to fit into where am I going to work? Because the whole point of going to school is to get a good job, and
Become
get a decent
successful.
salary,
Try
and,
to
and,
become
and yeah,
successful.
they make it seem so simple.
Yeah.
So this is why I did environmental. I did fairly well. I was employed at BOSAI for a period of time, 6 years. I did really well there, but during that time, I felt to myself like, this is not for me. Same way, I feel like in a cage. I feel like, battled. That
Yeah. Yeah.
that something inside of me calling, and it was being an entrepreneur, right? So basically, I started a chicken business first, right? My brother advised me. He was an agriculturist. He went to GSA. He's a veterinarian, and he advised me, how to take care of these birds and what's not. But even in the business field, I realized, like, I didn't really like this business so much, but I know I wanted to do business, but just anything at the point. And the chicken business didn't work out, you know. So I said, yeah, that's all. Yes. So I said to myself, why you gonna become? I feel so lost at the time. I feel so depressed.
So he was going through a
I had,
mental
yeah,
trauma.
bro.
So
I'm telling you.
this is the thing that I want to,
Yeah.
let them know, let the youth know that where you were wasn't in an easy place.
Exactly.
But the challenge that you put to yourself mentally, to become, you pull yourself out from the space that where you were, and it's not like a miracle happened.
Yeah.
But you gotta understand the fight is that when you're on your lowest peak, not to give in to the errors. Try to see your utmost best, or you could challenge yourself to come out of it. Try to seek something else or a next space that
Definitely.
So I understand what you say.
Yeah. So at the time, I did it with the chicken business, and it didn't work out. I had a girlfriend, and she was like, Rana, what we gonna do? She's looking to me to make the decision. Like, Rana, what we gonna do? I was like, I'm now finding myself as a young man. What am I gonna tell her? But she had this idea of opening a cosmetic store and selling accessories and these type of stuff and clothing. I said, you know what? The chicken business idea was my idea. Let me invest in this young lady idea. Let me work with her. Let's see where it go. Cause trying. I know I want to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah, but
so yeah, where to start? And I know the chicken business didn't work out, so we give it a try. And it was very slow for the first year, but we were motivated because sales gradually keep increasing. We go out there, we present. Sometimes some morning you don't want to wake up, get off your bed. You walk up with your girlfriend.
Yeah.
You want the warmth, you don't want to go off your bed, but we make a discipline. You gotta create like a discipline within yourself. You gotta be on time. 8 o'clock, you open your business.
Yeah, business driven is a different.
Exactly.
It's like you're still working with somebody, but you gotta understand you're working with yourself, but your jobs depend on
you.
You and your time.
Yeah, you gotta self-motivate. So enough people think that because you got business, you could go to work anytime. Try to maintain the discipline, open. A lot of people depending on you to open 8 o'clock. A lot of people gotta get something from your business 8 o'clock, and you're not there. They're gonna look for somebody else to go and buy. You're gonna lose business, right? Yeah. So this is always important to be disciplined with your time. Anyway, we keep constantly. We started selling a tent, and we had a bit of fight down from the council. They say you need permission. Even with the permission, they say you can't vent here. And it's like, where are we gonna vent? Where is the avenue for small business? Where are we going to start? You know what I mean? We lack capital. We get this idea. We just try.
But what is I always say about disappointment is for you to create. Right? Yeah. It's for you to create
a different strategy.
Definitely.
Wherever you're getting choked, it move your mind from there to excelling.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't stood for less. So some people right now going through these challenges where somebody fighting them for move from a corner.
Yeah.
And the fighter trying to move from a corner. They are thinking that why these people like me vibes, like me energy, trying to hustle. But what they don't know is that every success or everything you wanna achieve in this life still live in you. Mentally, you have to know how to unlock.
Definitely. Yeah. And there's a type of obstacles that is come your way.
Yeah.
During the process of life. Yeah. At that point, not for say, but at that point, it's easy for say,
done.
Give up. Flop this, let me go back to my job. I get a job. let me go back to his job and abandon this entrepreneur dream.
Because there's how young people.
Right? Even though deep down something say make keep going, you like it's sometime at the point you feel like giving up. Guys, it ain't working out.
Another thing too is like another thing too, right? Some people I would say who write CXC and who get his degree and all them things, they might feel that, depending on I would say on that area there, that is the only way they could survive. But there is but there is so many other things, right? But you understand, we still have I would say trade, man. You could still do a trade, and you could be a mechanic, you could be a welder,
you gotta find your way. This is the thing, you gotta find your way.
All these opportunities,
so much to do in life.
right? But sometimes, the youth them, they might feel like in the area they will. This is all I could do,
And if you make it there, you're making it.
And you just throw back just like that, right? There is other areas that you could focus on, and elevate yourself. Especially to the young women. Don't just see that you if you have a right CXC or
you give
if
up,
you give up on all of these things, right? There is so many other things, right? You're never too big to learn and all of these things, right? Even if you write these things, I would say within your young age, when you reach at a certain age, you could still push yourself, in order for elevating yourself and these things. So, right? Because look at the other day, I there on East Bank there. I there on East Bank, I think it's around land of Canaan side. I see a female operating a bobcat down there. A very young female, right? And that is something very good she's doing, because she could have been doing something else. You understand when I say on a negative part, right? But she would have pushed herself, and elevate herself towards that. And I sure not only that bobcat alone she operates, right? But she would be, I think that she would be heading to other machine, for these things. So females don't feel because that
don't give up because you got you
and I'm sure
an area whereby you get pregnant, and it comes hard. Because let me be honest with you, you see pregnant women, I would share some emphasis on that, right? Pregnant women, their body, their mind, their whole, thoughts becomes crumbled because of the situation that they're going through, right? These is things that we now have to try to seek, ways to elevate these women. Because I could tell you sometimes when they get some women get kids, some young women, and in the relationship the young man disappear. And she left on a challenge where like dealing with this situation, and more or less where she going through it is so hard because her mother don't let go unless your child period. So going through these challenges, the mental breakdown and all these cycles that they face. So we want to let all these females who going through these kind of errors when it comes to dealing with teenage pregnancy, that seek some sort of assistance from your parents, to guide. So sometimes you'll be there and going through a difficult thought, something that within you resonating, because younger youths they fight more emotional, intense damages, because they keep trying and challenging themselves to become something of, for the parents to be proud. But just that the situation is so harsh, and they're not finding the essence to change their platform or change the concept to make their parents proud. They feel like that's the end of the world for them. So they decide to just find a loophole and just give up. So younger youths, come on, we know that it's in here. We know it's in because we did it. I did it.
And if I could just add to the Gevon, you're talking about the young ladies that already made kids, and for the ones that didn't make it yet and watching on, they could learn from that. Because abstinence
right,
again.
Big on abstinence, because let me be honest to you, right? And I want to emphasize it on this. It's not too long, but
no problem.
Now, abstinence is a big deal and effort for everyone who trying to put yourself in. Every young people trying to put themselves in a career because there is so much would come out for one sex. Let me be factual. One sex. There's kids. You could get twin. You could get triplets. More or less, there is all these STDs out there to contaminate you and your whole, program wherever you want to go. So abstinence is a big deal. So why we want to make it more important for the youth to understand, where it lies with sex is real detrimental to your life, career. You understand? One sex alone, and that's it. The whole baby party over. So we're trying to let the young people know that this is a period of time that young people go through that urge, that thing that they think they know it all, they're big enough. Nobody can't tell them this and tell them that. And this now could shatter every single thing for you in times to come because you're ready for deal with a mental breakdown in the particular platform. Because, now you're hearing people getting HIV and then they snap.
Yeah.
Because the stigma that comes with HIV.
They're committing suicide.
They enough of these young people are prepared to deal with these things.
Another thing another thing too, good. Sometimes they might find that that whatsoever they doing, what they sneaking and doing, right? No one would not find out anything, right? But the young people of today, you see what going on. We having a lot of recordings and all of these things going on right now, right? So in everything that was happening right now, people recording and these things, so right? So my advice towards I would say those situations is for you to be very I would say don't go down that road at this time, so right? Pursue with whatsoever career you have in this life, so and where you're heading to. Yeah, and focus on it, right? Nothing is running it nowhere.
Being a leader of yourself.
Yeah.
Correct. Right? Nothing in running away. Sometimes, how we sit down and we think, we feel like, every day, it's like, look at simple parties and these things, all right? Some young people them is hustling, fighting up for to these things. These things is all,
they got some friends who put influence towards, these youths or towards a friend to say, girl, or buy you get the baddest down in this week.
Yeah.
Let me go on vibes. More or less, you have studies. Correct. More or less, you have a job that if you messed up again, you understand me? It's all over. You understand?
Yeah.
So these is areas whereby the youths being lacking. You understand? So
See, just to add to what the guys are saying, abstinence is very important, young people. But later down in life, when they're an adult, they can find the need to have sex. We could advise them.
Yeah.
Make sure you use your protection, young adults and young ladies. Make sure the person that you lie down with, you're prepared if anything to happen. Guys, condom fails and whatnot. Make sure that the person you're lying down with is a father, could be a father to your kid. A lot of time young women, have casual sex. The sex feel good, you just have casual sex, but you really lighten up this young man, like if you're capable in being a father. That's when you take care of the child.
Of your responsibility.
And if you get catch now, you bring for this child, the man disappear. Now you left with a single mother. With all the pressure, got to put your career on pause for look after this child. So the decision down there is very critical.
I wanted to use TM this year, right? But what I wanted to put over right now is that you make a point just now concerning the young men that would possibly wouldn't be in the position to deal with these kids or deal with a child coming because of the situation, right? Because they play a big role in that too, right? So what I wanted to know, I want to ask you is, what do you think about young men who not being more career driven? Like, there's some young men right now who do home sleeping all day.
Yeah.
They got some young man liming all day. They may understand how important it is to be a husband. It's like they're living with a dream. 'Cause you know, there's some young people with some dream right now thinking that we Godfather will show up and take away all my misery. You know them kind of stuff. This is what's happening right now. Like you get some youths, you know, that they think that it's like I good and tomorrow possibly my grandfather or somebody gonna die and left something for me. They don't understand the effort and the kind of a work they have to put in to get there. You know.
That's a good question. That's a good point. Well, as a young man, you're expected to be a provider. This is a man's job to provide. And provision involves money. You have to make money. You know the saying, if you don't make money, you don't make sense? There's a true thing for young men. So young men, focus on getting your money up. Don't look girl, don't look child, early o'clock. Focus, try to get a stable base whereby you get an income coming in where you could provide for a family. Then you look for a young woman afterwards. But the minute you the minute you being procrastinating, doing nothing all day, hoping that maybe your parents help you out or some rich uncle help you out or God gonna come down and give you something. There's type kind of like waste man thinking we cigar. This waste man vibe. You're wasting time. You're wasting time, bro. You understand?
And then you get some young ladies factoring these men.
Exactly.
And expect to get the best out of life.
This is the thing.
Dealing with a person, on
this is why with advising.
You have to blame yourself too.
Yeah.
You gotta
know. You see this man on the corner smoking weed whole day, doing nothing, providing nothing, never give you nothing, never buy you nothing. You can go and have raw sex with this guy and make a whole baby with this youth, and then expect him to be a great father. Oh, these men, they're then a label man as one umbrella. Oh, these men ain't fit nothing. These men don't take care of the child. No, but you choose that man. You choose that man. Young ladies, choose who to have sex with. Unless it's rape, you choose who you have sex with. A man can't go into you unless you allow him. So, young ladies, please stop having sex with waste man. Make sure I don't know how to put it more nicely than that. It's frank as that, because it's so many of them, nice, beautiful young ladies, and you watch at the choices, like where they go wrong. They really need guidance. Make sure these guys have a stable base. They're earning something. They have a job, because when the child comes forward, you're gonna suffer. Who's gonna provide for that child? Now you's gonna have to thinking about providing and being a mother at the same time. Double parenting. It's tough. It's the reason why two persons make one child. Gotta need the help of both. A kid need a father and a mother. So young people, please make more informed decisions when you choose to who you're having sex with. Yeah.
Yeah, I would endorse that. Right. Another thing with young men in this place is, if you do watch it, I would say not only Linden but around in Guyana, you would find like a lot of single mothers, them, right?
Yeah, a lot of them.
A lot of single mothers, right? Is because sometimes we do the wrong thing, we think it's the right thing, right? And we continue practicing doing it all the time, right? So right. So young men, I would say, from a man perspective, is that we set ourselves and set we life before we think about
set goals.
Set goals and these things.
Set some sort of,
right? Because there is so many single women out in the some of them don't even ask for it, right? And you see the same parties will be contributing to so many of these also, right? Because when we go out, we drink, we get high, you understand? We gotta be very careful with these things. You understand? I wanna advise the underage them to
abstinence.
I would say,
abstinence. You have no business.
Abstinence.
You have no business.
And young
and is way out of your.
Correct. That is way apart from.
Remember now, at this time that you're trying to do something of adult, adult stuff. You're
Correct.
not in the area whereby you're a child. You know your
Yes.
parents taking care of you. You know,
exactly.
and you're gonna put yourself in a detrimental situation that your parents have to muster when you bring it home or bring whatever.
That
you
is
bring
so
home.
true.
And
You understand?
That is so
there's,
true.
there's a question I would ask you, like, and then you're trying to drive home. They're gonna ask you like, when is the right time for me to be engaged in those activities? And this is what we're trying to say, you know, you have to be more emotionally developed. For the young man, you gotta be financially developed. You gotta get a stable income. Make sure that when you're going to break right into this girl, that you could take care of a child and a family. You understand? For the young ladies, you could handle the responsibility of a child. You could understand that, you know, your career gonna be on pause. You're gonna be away for at least 9 months plus.
Yeah.
You understand?
You gotta be there.
You gotta be there,
you
and
don't
I
even know how
know
long after 9 months.
exactly
Yeah.
because the focus now
Yeah.
is there. You have to
Yeah.
maybe find
Yeah.
babysitters for look at the child if you want to
Correct.
pursue your career. So you gotta understand where you're getting into when you do decide for like down and have raw sex.
You gotta find yourself mentally. Let me be honest here, right? I so much excelling in life. And people were looking at me and said, Gevon, I you know, you always smile like nothing bad on to you or nothing wrong on to you. You're always in a happy mood, right? Now, let me be honest to you. Within, I fight so much things. But I understand after years that I ain't got to find myself mentally. One of your biggest fight is not your mother, is not your sister, your brother, no siblings. It's within. Your purpose lies within. Every youth, your purpose lies within. You understand? Now, what I wanted to say to the younger youths who trying to excel into a career life, you gotta be career driven. You gotta be purposeful. You gotta understand that the road is not an easy walk. And every single time you go to a stage whereby, you know, you're challenging yourself to exceed, there are gonna be challenges, there are gonna be fights, there are gonna be all level of battles. But understand, giving up is not an option. Because if you give up, you fail yourself or you fail your creator. That's one. Because enough people don't understand. Look how tough it were for you to come here. 10,000, you understand? No, 10,300,000 sperms. You understand how much
And
people you were chosen? 10,300,000. And you look how far you fight through that channel and that battle and be one of the strongest soldiers. If you go in war right now with 10 persons, you lose. You gotta be a Jet 2 soldier for fight off 10 persons and you go on to 10 million and make it out successful, and then you giving up through a simple challenge mentally. Figure it out, young people. Understand that your mind gonna challenge you, but you have to understand to overcome it by saying, you know, I'm not giving up. I think this is the best way for me. I'm gonna try this, and you're all towards your purpose. Because they get enough youths, there's you know, they get somebody come and tell them, but you know, understand, by the thing ain't making no sense. You see how long you trying the thing? You know, look how long you there trying for turn something. But you understand the miles, you understand, is not what takes, is the accomplishments. Right? So don't bother with the journey. Understand once you're there, mentally locked in, and you're always on time, it's gonna happen. Don't matter how long it takes, it's gonna happen. You know? So this is what I want to say.
Yeah, just another point I want to add to that is with obstacles too. Obstacles is not necessarily a bad thing, you know. Well, it seems bad because it's a stumbling block. But the thing about obstacles too is make you stronger emotionally and is learn from it. Because sometimes you make a mistake, it seems like a stumbling block. But you're smart to know. So when life throw back the obstacle like at you, there's nothing to you. Because you faced the rock before. You know how to handle the rock. So obstacle is necessary. Any person you see achieve any great thing in life, they go through many obstacles. Enough obstacles. So you are really mentally strong to keep going. Avoid those obstacles. Dodge those obstacles. Learn from your mistakes. and it can make you a better person, and eventually it's not a smooth road, it's not a straight line, it's real ups and downs in life.
Conquer your mind. This is one of the biggest things. Conquer yourself,
Yeah,
conquer within.
the road is not a nice road, right? Because when you do look at the road, it's not.
It's
I would
bumps.
say big. You know,
big bumps. Yo,
Yeah,
it's big
understand.
lash down.
yeah, every day,
Yeah.
every
Rock
day,
foot, rock
every
hand.
day you go
All
into
level of-
the social media.
Yeah, our level
And
of
you just look at the people, it's sheer young people of today, right? And we just make the wrong choices, right? And we just end up in these situations.
No,
so,
to add to what you just said about social media, right? At this time, we having some younger youths, right? They have some younger youths, like the teenagers, that when you're adult, you should know what's wrong and right. Even when you pass approximately 10, right? Because you're engaged, mentally engaged. Now, what some females don't understand, some young teenager females, the way you sell yourself, it is the way the men gonna buy you.
Exactly.
You sell yourself as a pound, they buy you as a pound. Now you can't be on the, these apps sharing all your goods to these, publicly, and expect
Thousands of men, millions of men.
to become a wife. When a man looking at you and saying, it's 10 or it's 50 of the man watching this here, boy. This say don't go on outside. I can't put this in a value. You know what I mean? Because you don't sell it free on the net. You understand? For likes. So women, you have to understand the way you sell yourself to the public, your clothes, your attitude, and then Facebook or TikTok and you're showing out yourself. That's not a good identity for a young lady to pick up and thinking that she creating some sort of resolution to her life. Because remember now, men, we talking as men, men look down on a woman who puts herself out there for 50 other man to see. Back in the days, we know about them girl with the ass slip. And when you walk in a yard, and you going to play tar or play some sort of games by your neighbor yard, and his sister or somebody on the veranda with a tights, she literally run inside soon as you walk in the yard, and she got an old tights plus probably a little ass slip.
Yeah.
You understand?
No, the young ladies wear the tights.
No.
Yeah.
So that was back in them times. The parents should tell the young ladies, listen, wherever you get on, it is precious.
Yeah.
And know what you're doing with them. Don't make anybody trampling your pasture.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, and these younger youths, they're just not taking that part serious, and they're selling themselves for less than a shilling and expected a man to come and find the value in you when you don't show yourself to the public as, and next thing, parents, come on, these kids just be in these rooms locked away, posting themselves every day, thinking they're back and all these kind of things to the public, and you don't even know, that this child is of this kind of, check your kids' platform to see where they're engaging with all these negative stuff. You know what I mean? Because it could shut. Let me show you something. In America right now, before you get a job, they ask you for all your media platforms. And then they run it to see the kind of a lifestyle you portray. And then they say, you can't get this job.
Yeah.
Because you know why? Because look at simple Facebook, right? When we talk about Facebook profile, it definitely means that you profiling yourself. So when you don't put out all your information on that that Facebook, right? We go into the Facebook now to look to see the kind of person who he is. You understand? Even TikTok and all of these things, right? So when we run through these whole things, now when we see
find your lifestyle,
right? It tells a lot.
Yeah.
Tells you the whole
Right?
story.
Yeah, it tells you a whole lot. So we might just watch these things and say, man, it's just Facebook thing, you understand? Right? But if you don't I would say, if you don't carry yourself in a positive way on these internet, this is how every person's gonna look at you and all these things, and more so you go into the comments, and then you're gonna see how people rating you in your comments, right? You're gonna see somebody, you can even reach big man inside little girl thing, hey sexy, hey baby, looking good and all of these things, right? It's because of the way how they carry themselves, men tend to do. So you gotta respect yourself, young man, young women, right? We can't just putting ourselves out there and feel that the negative thing, what we doing is a positive thing.
Yeah, let me just I don't know. Cause basically we in a new era, the social media era. This is a new era like had recently. So what happened, Gevon, is that a lot of parents not so familiar with the social media, so some of them don't even know the kids on the social media. You understand? They don't even know how to get it account. You understand? Because it's not so worse. They don't even know how to open a phone. Turn on the Bluetooth. They don't know these things. That they need the young people. So the young people outsmarting them in the area. But me advise to young people, especially you talk about the females that exposing the parts. You can see what they're doing. They're not skimpy shorts. You seeing the camel toes, you seeing the putting.
So you could even advise the parents to say, what, upgrade yourself.
And in their mind, as a young lady mind,
check in on areas.
another young lady mind, what she seeing, because they get a lot of views, they get a lot of likes. Sex sells. Man would always buy it. There are guys out there that would always view, we will always view. But they assume that they're being being chased, that they've been doing something violent because the likes get to them. They're getting a lot of likes, they get a lot of comments on the photos. Hey sexy, you're looking good. But you're right in a way. Men don't look at these women. We're exposing the parts to thousands of men on Facebook, and we say, oh, that could be a nice wife. No, we don't really look at you in the way. We just seeing maybe a one-off or what's not. Yeah, exactly. So you might think that you're doing something valuable, but you're very you're disrespecting yourself and how men view. We could talk on men behalf how we view. There's not wife material. There's not somebody we'd put a ring on. Definitely,
So as we go in and close on today's topic, motivating younger youths to be career driven, be more purposeful, understand that your drive and your energy and your career lies in where you takes it. Your parents could actually tell you every single thing, that they want you to become, but it's within you now to take up the challenge and make it purposeful and make it, put yourself out there to understand that the world is not an easy place, and I have to challenge myself to all degree and make myself successful, right?
definitely.
So next week topic gonna be on relationships, right? In general, right? Relationships, who gonna like co-parent relationship in general, so we could share a better emphasis on where these kids could pick up
in order to eradicate many things.
So there's going to be the topic next week: relationship with kids and parents, right? So look out for it. And once more, we're in the shop, Straight Talk with Gevon. This is my space, sharing it with you all. And next week topic gonna be real wonderful. I'm looking out for see some more important people from the community step in and give us some wonderful talk. Right? We at it again, and good night to everyone.
Peace out.
Peace out.